from beautiful San Marcos, Texas, with your Claws Out podcast for year one, week 7. This episode of your Claws Out podcast is brought to you proudly by San Marcos Whataburger. The Monterey Melt is back for a limited time. Get yours today. What a burger. Starting in the ACC, Stanford at SMU. Big win for the Cardinals, 24-17. The Cardinals had 19 first downs, 409 yards of total offense, ran 55 plays, 7.4 yards a play. They carried the ball 25 times for 90 rushing yards, but no rushing touchdowns, averaging 3.6 yards a carry on the day. The Cardinals had it 319 through the air, 3 passing touchdowns, while going 5 of 9 on third down conversions for 55%. Stanford 24-17 over the SMU Mustangs. That defense holding tough too, only allowing 269 yards on the day for the SMU's explosive offense. Now we come down Wake Forest at Oregon State. Wake Forest 17, Oregon State 13. Taking a look at the stats there, your Demon Deacons had 14 first downs, 294 yards of total offense. They ran 50 plays, 5.9 yards a play. They carried the ball 22 times for 148 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. While averaging 6.7 yards a carry on the day, the Demon Deacons added 146 passing through the air and 1 passing touchdown. They were 4 of 10 on third down conversions for 40%. They held Oregon State, the Beavers, to only 120 total yards on the game, 3 of 9 on third down conversions for 33%. And look at that time of possession, folks. Demon Deacons, 16 minutes and 43 seconds to 7 minutes and 17 seconds for Oregon State. That's how you win ball games. Sometimes, folks, you got to do what you got to do because a dub is a dub, and Coach Dub would know. Now over to the American Conference, Tulane hosting East Carolina. 35 for the Green Wave, 28 for East Carolina. Close game there. It was 28-17, East Carolina at the half, but Tulane come out, stunned them with 11 in the third, stunned them with 7 more in the fourth, and shut them out in the second half for that 35-28 victory. Tulane had 23 first downs, 390 yards of total offense, ran 59 plays, 6.6 yards a play. They carried the ball 22 times for 153 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown, while averaging 7 yards a carry on the day. They added 237 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. The Green Wave, 4 of 8 on third down conversions for 50%. Jumping over now to the Big Ten, number 20, Rutgers at Washington. Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights, 36, the Huskies, 22. Rutgers led it 21-12 at the half, and they never looked back as they put the 36 on the Huskies at Washington's house, and they did it in amazing fashion. 18 first downs, 456 yards total offense for the Scarlet Knights. They ran 50 plays, 9.1 yards of play on the day for the Scarlet Knights. They carried the ball 21 times for 49 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown, while averaging only 2.3 yards a carry on the day, but they added 407 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and went 7 of 10 on third down conversions for 70%, and their defense hanging tough on third downs, holding the Huskies to only 4 of 11 for 36%. Now Northwestern at number 5, Penn State. Tough loss for the Wildcats there, as it's 31 for the Nittany Lions, 9 for Northwestern. This was a close one, folks. It was 10-9 at the half, but Penn State put it on them in the second. 14 first downs for Northwestern, 236 yards total offense, ran 45 plays, 5.2 yards a play. They carried the ball 22 times for 93 rushing yards, but no rushing touchdowns. They averaged 4.2 yards a carry on the day. They had 143 yards passing, no passing touchdowns. But they were a dismal 1 of 7 on third down conversions for 14%. But if I know anything, I know this. That Northwestern coach is going to bounce back, and he's going to make some fire next week. I can promise you that. That coach from Northwestern doesn't know how to quit. Now over to Conference USA, Kennesaw State hosting Louisiana State, Louisiana Tech. Kennesaw State 24, Louisiana Tech 0. Now here we go over into the MAC. No games there. Mountain West Conference. San Diego State hosting Nevada. The Aztecs 38, Nevada 5. It was all San Diego State in the first half, 35-3, and then they shut it down in the second. But here we go, taking a look at the stats. The Aztecs had 19 first downs, 447 yards total offense, ran 51 plays, 8.8 yards a play. They carried the ball 24 times for 178 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, while averaging 7.4 yards a carry on the day. The Aztecs added 269 through the air, 3 passing touchdowns, 6 of 10 on third down conversions for 60%. Their defense holding Nevada at only 241 total yards and 3 of 12 on third down conversions for 25%. Great game for San Diego State. Now over into the SEC, no games there. Sun Belt Conference, Texas State hosting Troy. Texas State 56, Troy Trojans 12. Taking a look at the stats, Texas State Bobcats 31 first down, 656 yards of total offense, ran 64 plays, 10.3 yards a play, 21 carries for 224 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown, averaging 10.7 yards a carry on the day. They added 432 passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns, and they went 7 of 8 on third down conversions for 87%. Their defense hanging tough on third down conversions for Troy only 4 of 12 for 33%. Great job on third down by the Texas State defense. That's all our games for the week 7. Dropping down into the Heisman Watch. Looking at your Heisman Watch. Jeremiah Smith of the CPU from Ohio State, number 1. Fernando Mendoza, CPU quarterback of Indiana, number 2. Caleb Hawkins, the running back for North Texas, at number 3. Julian Sand, quarterback of Ohio State, CPU at 4. And John Mateer, quarterback of Oklahoma, coming in, number 5, another CPU. Only one user in the Heisman race, Caleb Hawkins of North Texas. Seeing it's the middle of the season, we're going to do a little conference breakdown. Starting in the ACC, Clemson 5-1 is 4-0 in conference. Duke is second in conference, 3-0. Stanford is third at 3-1. Wake Forest 3-0 at fourth. Virginia at 3-1 in fifth place. Tight race there between all 4 users at the top of the ACC. Now we jump over to the American. Memphis 3-0 in conference. North Texas 3-0 in conference. Tulane 3-0 in conference. It's a 3-way race for the crown in the American. Looking at the Big Ten, Rutgers is 4-0 in conference. Technically, they should be considered to be the number 1 team, but it has Indiana and Michigan listed over them. Northwestern 3-1 in conference is still in the race. It's anybody's race in the Big Ten. Conference USA, Kennesaw State 2-0 in conference, holding tough and looking to get to their first conference championship game. The MAC Conference, Buffalo 5-2, 3-0 in conference, leads the MAC Conference. The Mountain West Conference currently is holding first place for Boise State, Hawaii, and San Jose State, all undefeated. But right there with them is San Diego State at 3-1. And like I said, that's anybody's race there too. San Diego State is looking to take over the Mountain West Conference this year. Into the SEC. Mississippi State is 0-2, hanging around the bottom, but they're not out of it yet. They still got a tough schedule ahead. Texas State in the Sun Belt, 7-0 on the season, 3-0 in conference, and they're leading the conference. Right behind them is Marshall at 2-1 in Southern Mississippi, and South Alabama at 2-0, and James Madison at 2-1. It's anybody's race in the Sun Belt, but Texas State is looking good for that Sun Belt championship game. Sun Belt is actually broke down into 2 sides. Marshall leads the East. Texas State leads the West. That's your conference breakdown for Week 7 into Week 8. Until next time, this your boy, Coach Dub, signing off. Oh, wait, I take that back. I'm not signing off yet. We forgot to do Players of the Week. And I forgot to look this up ahead of time, so you're going to have to forgive me as we run in here. Here we go. Not one user. Not one user. Okay, so it looks like we're going to the Sun Belt for your Offensive Player of the Week, Greg Burrell. 9 carries, 142 rushing yards. 15.8 yards a carry, 1 rushing touchdown. He also had 5 receptions for 116 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Great game by him. Now I'm going to pick a team, any team, doesn't know who, and I'm going to pick a defensive player of the week just by going through their defensive things all the way. We're going to go through the, let's see. You know what? Stanford says he never gets no love. So here we go. Week 7, Stanford at SMU. Big win. Your defensive player of the week from the Stanford Cardinals, Devaru Tafiti. The senior redshirt linebacker had 7 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. And that is your defensive player of the week for week 7. And now, this is Coach Dub signing off.